Well, that's what we're saying, staying on the issue around pharmaceuticals and that waiver that's supposed to last for 2 years. The Nigeria Customs Service has said that it has commenced that implementation of that zero tax on imported pharmaceutical inputs, not the pharmaceutical themselves. And Customs said that implementation commenced after President Bola Tinubu approved the comprehensive guidelines for that exemption of duty and value-added tax on critical raw materials used in manufacturing pharmaceutical products. The Customs say that in line with the presidential directives to enhance local healthcare manufacturing, reduce production costs, and attract investment, the guidelines were approved by President Bola Tinubu through the Minister of Finance. And we have right here in the studio to tell us expectations and perhaps this implementation that we're even talking about, because, you know, sometimes you could hear implementations and we don't know if it's really being implemented in Nigeria. We have pharmacist Wale Oladigbolu. He's a Senior Vice President of Advantage Health Africa. He's also the immediate past National Chairman of the Association of Community Pharmacists of Nigeria. Pharmacists, good morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And happy holiday.
Happy holiday.
Thank you for sharing part of your holiday with us.
It's very interesting to share with you.
I know, right? Okay, so has it really started, this waiver?
Okay, like you saw Custom spokesperson said, it's going to commence from next month. They will say
tomorrow.
Yeah, starting tomorrow. All right, and what you immediately take notice of is the fact that the presidential order came June 2024. So we've already spent 9 months, and it's supposed to last for 2 years. I wonder what is going to happen. So do we start
counting from tomorrow, or do we start counting from June?
I think,
because if you're counting from June, it's almost a year.
If you're counting from June 2024, then we have not gained anything. But if you start counting from tomorrow, then we have gained at least a bit. We begin to see implementation, and then probably we'll begin to see the price impact within the next 3 to 4 months.
Well,
so
I hope so.
1, 2 years, it's too small.
Okay, but I mean, if we even have the 2 years, I think we would see something and perhaps we would record some things.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to start tomorrow.
Yeah.
The Customs are saying they've gotten the guidelines that they're supposed to use to implement. As a pharmacist, have you heard, have you seen the signs that indeed it will start tomorrow? Or are we going to count out the public holiday?
Absolutely, I know that the government is moving in the right direction. And the Customs, I believe they will get it right this time around. But permit me to say that what the government has done is just one step in the right direction. And there are so many steps that needs to be taken for drug prices to begin to come down, for it to have any impact in Nigeria. Don't forget that 70% of the goods that we use, or the pharmaceuticals that we use in Nigeria, are imported, and only 30% are manufactured locally. So at best, this policy, if well implemented, wonderfully implemented, will only affect the 30% that we manufacture locally. All right? So there are other factors that makes Nigeria not to be competitive when it comes to pharmaceuticals.
I understand. Trust me, I understand, pharmacists, where you're going to.
Yes.
But I'm just saying that if we have this, even if we have that 30% impact in 2 years, which you have said is small, but if we have it, can we even ensure, because trust me, we had a policy that was supposed to remove taxes on imported basic food, staples, paddy and all of that. And up till now, I don't know how much of that was implemented. So that's why I'm saying, while you are looking at, you know, a bigger benefit, can we even ensure that this one, no matter how small it seems, can we even see that it even takes off? You just made the observation now that this thing has been approved since June last year, and it's just about to be implemented according to the Customs tomorrow, the 1st of April. And I asked, those guidelines, because if a new policy is going to be implemented, we would, at least for you as a stakeholder, you would have seen the signs, you would have heard of how it's going to work and all of that. Have you heard of those things?
Sincerely speaking, yes. We know that the implementation will commence. We know that this will work because it's what the pharmaceutical sector actually pressurized the government to do. You understand? So we will not keep quiet. The pharmaceutical sector as a holistic whole will continue to be monitoring this process, ensuring that they deliver on promise, and then down the line, we'll begin to see the impact. So surely, custom is serious, the federal government of Nigeria is serious, and that is commendable. It is very commendable.
So you are hopeful that this will start?
It will start.
Okay, so when it starts now, it is the inputs we're talking about.
Yes.
Like what inputs and how can we expect it? You said we can expect impact in like 3 months or so.
Yes.
What areas, so that we who are not in the pharmaceuticals value chain, but actually consume it, can actually say, oh, it's because of this. That's why we're seeing this. What can we expect to see?
Okay, that's a different ball game. Let me open up the process a bit. So this tariff will affect machineries, pharmaceutical raw materials, reagents, diagnostics agents and stuff like that, right? Okay, so and most of those things are actually imported. There's basically none of them that is made in Nigeria. So it will impact the cost of production, all right? But you and I know that other things goes into the cost of production. We expect a minimal impact. In fact, as I was driving down here, what was on my mind is that I will cause the Advantage farmer that I work for to do a basic analysis of drug prices. And after 6 months, we'll do another analysis and we'll compare with the basic and see whether this has not been lost through the value chain. Because it's something for government to prepare fiscal policy to say, look, we are doing this so that prices will come down. Then the people, the producers themselves, will there be collusive oligopoly? Will they come together to say, no, we can't, or will the market dynamics dictate that they should come down? You know, all these things have to be factored out. Government also need to think it through very well. Yes, we have done this. How do we ensure that manufacturers also drop prices? That is another ballgame altogether. And there are plenty of things that government can do, from even their own procurement side. When they are procuring for the federal government, they should look at what they are buying now, and 6 months down the line, they can check to see whether prices are actually dropped. But like I said before, there are many things that make Nigeria non-competitive. One of them is the fact that in India, they get incentives to export. So when you get the level of export from a pharmaceutical company in India to a certain level, government actually pays you back some percentage of it. And don't forget the interest rate in Nigeria. All this thing is beautiful, fiscal policy is beautiful. What of the interest rate? If we are to expand the pharmaceutical sector, probably we have to get bank loan to also do that, right? And then getting bank loan at 30-something% compared to nations where you have it at less than 10%. I mean, it will speak volume. And then when you now come to the actual logistics of pharmaceuticals in Nigeria, you see fuel dynamics coming into place. You see insecurity dynamics coming into play. But this is not to say that government is not moving. They are moving in the right direction. Insecurity is dropping, but cost of fuel, and one major point that is so critical is the exchange rate.
But we've had stability for some months now.
Yes. The last time I came here, I told you that the exchange rate problem, as at that time, is the instability. The fact that the manufacturer can't predict how much they will buy dollar in the next 1 hour is a problem. Now we have stability. But does that mean that there has been reduction? Stability is good. They can predict, they can plan, and then prices on the shelf will be stable. But it is still very high. I pity consumers of pharmaceutical products in Nigeria. And don't forget also that I am strong on the fact that if the insurance system works well, the consumers of healthcare in Nigeria will enjoy better because they don't have problem buying out of pocket. So they don't have to buy out of pocket. They won't even know the prices of those products. So that's one big area that government can put effort, and the consumers of it can gain massively.
Okay, before we go to that health insurance, that's, yes. I mean, that's, as you know, it's a major topic, so I hope we'll have time to get there. But, you know, still talking about this, because the objectives of this zero tax,
yes,
is actually to encourage local manufacturing.
Very good.
So don't you see that streaming down to encouraging or giving incentives to locals to manufacture some of these inputs or even, the products themselves?
Yes, I agree with you. It's a good incentive. We want to reverse the 70-30 game that we are playing in Nigeria, where we import 70% and we manufacture 30%. So this is a step in the right direction. The fact that we're getting the raw materials and machinery at zero tariff is a big boost to the pharmaceutical sectors, right? But if you look at it, it doesn't also encourage capital influx into the sector. Why am I saying so? There will be no new entrants, because new entrants won't enjoy this. The government has already prioritized 87 companies that will enjoy it. So if you are coming in and you have billions of naira to invest, this will not be your game. So government needs to also expand it. Why do we have to have that kind of limit? If you don't have basic registration to manufacture, you won't go into it. So it's not a place that we are trying to police the system. No. If anybody that is qualified to manufacture, who has PCN certification, NAFDAC registration for his product, should also enjoy from it. That is when rich Nigerians will now begin to see the pharmaceutical sector as a beautiful bride to invest into, knowing that the machinery will come at zero tariff, knowing that raw materials will come at zero tariff. But the way it is now, it is policed. 87 people, no more entrants.
So you're saying that limitation, as well as the duration, which is 2 years, these are going to take away the shine and benefit that we could have enjoyed from this policy?
I agree, definitely. It will take away the shine.
But I'm sure the government has a reason for this. The issue of abuse is also there. I remember when we discussed the tax holiday and all of that, and then we count the cost. I mean, still Nigerians that count the cost and say that it's being abused.
The pharmaceutical sector is a bit different. You can't produce a tablet in this country without basic certification. So if you have both basic certification, why do we need to screen you out of this kind of incentive? And how will a new entrant start when you know that some people are enjoying zero tariff on importation of raw materials, and you expect me to now build a new plant when I will not enjoy the same facility? How will I be able to compete with them? So that space needs to be opened up. And I believe that the pharmaceutical sector will also come with one voice and say that, look, it's better to open it up.
But if you guys have not spoken since June, when this thing was...
We were happy with what government has done. We are very happy with what government has done. So now that we are just re-examining the whole process, there are some retailers, wholesalers now, who are in the pharmaceutical sector, who hope to transit into manufacturing. How will they start? Interest on loan is there. There is no special incentive for the pharmaceutical sector in terms of loan, having very marginal interest rate on loan, so that I can boost productivity. Don't forget that the pharmaceutical sector is one of the highest employers of labor. I will encourage you, just go to Shagamu one day when EMSO is closing and see the troop of people that will be on the road and try to just figure out the head count. So when we develop the pharmaceutical sector,
the Greek sector will also say that the highest employers of labor.
Well, I'm not doubting it. I'm just saying that we are one of the highest employers of labor, right? And we take a lot of people off the job market, right? So that would be a big boost for us. Don't forget that Nigeria is supposed to be the hub of pharmaceutical activities, even in Africa. But we are trailing Egypt, we are trailing South Africa, which is at the top. South Africa's population is like a quarter of our own, for crying out loud. So why must they be doing better than us? Why can't we develop it to such an extent that all ECOWAS countries will buy from Nigeria, right? And this is quite a ball that is with the government. The government can play it right. The government can come out with more incentives for the pharmaceutical sector. We thank them for what they are doing, but definitely this sector needs more encouragement.
And the gap from the exit of multinationals are still there. People are still feeling that pinch. I think they call it dropflation.
Yes. What has really happened is that the pharmaceutical sector, the multinationals, some of them find it difficult in our environment. So their products are back in the market, but they are much more expensive
because
than
they're imported. They were here, I mean, producing those things. That's why it was cheaper then.
In fact, for a very long time, they've stopped production in Nigeria.
Even before the announcement of exit.
Yes, even before the announcement of exit. GSK was trying to do something with fitting to produce some of our antibiotics locally. I don't know what has happened to that with their exit, but basically most of their products are
I hear now a lot of them are around Ghana and all of that and produced to import into the country.
It's a global policy for some of them. It's not just about Nigeria alone or Africa alone. It's a global policy to shift their focus to what pays them more, right? Okay, so for example, Nigerians who are living in America, some of them buy their product from this country. You know why? You don't know why? Because somehow, it's still cheaper.
What about this notion that we're beginning to get medical tourists, you know, people who come to Nigeria for the services because of costs?
Yes, and I believe that we should do more to encourage that influx. It's correct. It's correct. Because access to healthcare in this country, why we generally we say it's poor. But if you are coming from outside the country and you are patronizing private healthcare system, then you get access to healthcare quicker.
Is it because of the devalued naira?
The valuation in naira is there. The cost burden when you access healthcare in those countries are also there. And we also have expertise. We have good expertise. And the healthcare facility in Nigeria is developing. Especially when it comes to human resources, we are good.
Are you saying our brain drain is no longer an issue? Because the doctors are still crying out.
So what do you have? Yes, you have the younger population trying to get out of the country. You have the older population who are more experienced trying to bring investment back to the country. And because the world is a global village, there is no expert in the whole of this world that you can bring to this country.
Okay, I hope we'll find a balance somewhere. Thank you so much, Pharmacist Wale Oladigbolu, the Senior Vice President, Advantage Health Africa, and also immediate past National Chairman of Association of Community Pharmacists of Nigeria.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I hope you will come back to tell us, maybe in 6 months, since the policy implementation is supposed to start tomorrow, the 1st of April.
Yeah.
In 6 months, say by the end of the year, we can see how much impact.
Definitely, it's something that I would like to do. At Advantage Health Africa, we prioritize community health. We want to see access to healthcare system across board, and this is our area. So we'll do the basic analysis. So you
take the prices down, and then we'll get the prices around December.
Definitely.
All right. Thank you so much for your time.